Ooh, I want to hit that with you. Long legs. Yeah.
Trip, 3 hour drive to Saratoga. Some hand balancing. Visions of how to help Earth live my fullest life. That's today's writings. So I'm over here making my nephew his lunch. Not that I would eat these SpaghettiOs, but I would eat those garbanzo beans and those grapes. And this is my third day on my fast. And I'm gonna tell you, it's been challenging. It's been challenging to say the least. Yep. Yeah. Dr. Sebi said make sure they got C's. You gotta make forts. You gotta find nature. You gotta find your own way into nature. And we just burrow.
No! Snow's falling!
Out here.
Not touching my shoes.
Out here. Any snow yesterday, but there's a lot of snow now today. Sometimes that's how it goes, you know. No snow and lots of snow. Right. These supplements that I'm taking. Got this ginseng sublime, tea garden, dragon herb, burdock root, goji schizandra drops. I mean, so basically what my plan is, I'm gonna do like, yeah, I'm gonna try that. To do like a week of kind of like prep vibes, which is gonna be probably more juices and more.
You're transcending all limitations and getting there.
This dude's Sack Guru. He's, I mean, he's the guy. So it's 7 a.m. I just unfold this blanket right here like that, and I sit in it, and then I wrap my legs like this, and then I pull that over me, and I keep the window cracked a little bit, and I do my morning meditation. This is my second day without food. I'm gonna fast. I'm not really sure how much longer I'm gonna go, but I know I gotta go until it feels right.
Everything that we are doing here in this culture is essentially towards that.
C-U-D-I.
K-I-D-C-U-D-I. Okay. Does Rocco shred the guitar too? What is your answer to that?
I make beats, bro.
He makes beats, bro. Artwork is awesome. Jeff Gauntlet says Rocco.
Thank you, Jeff. The artwork means everything.
Keep up the good work, says Rick. Rocco Moon, says Sean.
I'm asking you to tag him on my there's a link. That's to the song, which is on SoundCloud. I'm in the same way that Scott inspired me. That's his name, Scott Mescudi. That's why he goes by Kid Cudi, because he's Scott Mescudi. Anyways, I've never met the guy, but hopefully this whole process allows me to meet him. And this is basically it, man, because this is my dream. I'm doing it right now. My laptop is right here. I'm recording myself while my mom is holding my dad's phone. And you guys are on my mom's phone. And I'm on my dad's. It's a lot. A lot's going on right now. I'll say this. For me, I had an idea of a version of my life where I would be happier. I had an idea. I had a dream, you can call it, a vision, you can call it, an idea, you can call it, a feeling, you can call it. But I had this inclination that there was a version of myself in an alternative timeline where I behaved differently, I took different actions, I made different choices, but ultimately I was happier there in this parallel universe. And so now I'm here, and really there's no parallel universe, there's only this one life. And I'm 26, and this is just stuff that I've learned so far. But I have parents that are, imbued with a great amount of wisdom, and they've taught me everything they know, and my grandma taught me everything she knows, and my family and friends. I for the past 6 months on my Instagram, you know how you can say here's who I am, and then a quick thing about yourself. My quick thing has been good question asker. For 6 months, it's been good question asker, because I don't know the answers, but I damn well sure that I know that thing inside of me is curious enough and wants to know the truth enough to know. So I'm saying all this to say, you guys are watching me do my dream, and it's kind of scary. I mean, I'm on FaceTime with my mom, and that's cool, but I hope Scott Mescudi hears this song, and I hope I get to open up for him on tour. And telling you guys about my dream is kind of it's kind of scary, because what happens if I don't do any of this? What happens if he never sees any? Well, I guess I just look dumb, or I don't know, but I tried. And I think for me, failure has been this intimidating wall that prevented me from taking action, that kept me in a sedentary, inactive mindset and way of life, that allowed my internal dialogue to spin in cycles and basically continue the momentum of doubt, because I wasn't taking action on these things that I wanted. But the conversation was, oh, I can't do this, or it's not going to happen, or whatever you do, don't ask your mom and dad to Facebook Live, because you're going to look stupid in front of, etc., etc. But long story short, if you have something inside of you that's asking to be recognized, man, are you going to do it next life? If you believe in karma, maybe, then hey, don't do nothing, bro. Just sit and eat chips. That's it. I love chips, but I don't believe in this type of thing I'm talking about. But if you believe in that type of life, then hey, maybe you'll come back next lifetime and as a turtle, and you'll do what you need to do then. But I don't know. I don't believe that. I think that this one life is what we have right now, and I know that I have things inside of me that I have to attend to, and if I don't attend to them, I'm not going to be happy. So attend to the things inside of you that have to be tended to in order for your happiness to come about, and attend to that. That's all you got. So yeah, thank you for tuning in and watching me as I tend to my
For the record, I know that was not proper use of attend to and tend to, and I got a little background.
So yeah, that's basically my month in a nutshell. Learning about astrology, learning about emotional intelligence, turning in, the science of astrology, looking at memes, looking for elements that exist in the solar system that also
So
exist
this
in the
concept of not missing out on anything, or to miss out on nothing, is like, if where you're at is where you're at, and where I'm at is where I'm at. If I have any percentage of comparing myself in a way that values where somebody else is over where I'm at, I'm missing out on where I'm at. I have more vibrational equity in attention to where you're at, or where whoever's at, than where I'm at. So I'm missing out on where I'm at. Moon is in Taurus. Today is February. Today's February 4th. And even I don't know, maybe, Pharrell gave Tyler permission, you know what I mean? Like, you give You see yourself in others. Like stars, man. Stars who are like, they're being themselves, bro. And that shit is so fucking inspiring, bro. Because I'm out here and I'm like, yo, my life is gonna change. And all these people that are like inspiring that you see out in the world that you were like, oh man, that shit that person did, it resonates with me. That's because you're like them. Consciousness and how it interacts with ego and how God consciousness gets to us. What we're experiencing right now is this giant reflection, this oscillation. So that's this moon theory thing I have, that I'm working on this game as well, and basically applying this kind of theory of how I think consciousness works to all the art that I'm working on right now. So these images, that's basically what they are. They're art references for the artists that I work with, and it's kind of storyboarding and character design, environment design. This is me with my nephews. Study, pick up knowledge from other places, gratitude. Draw as well as you can to show people who can draw better than you what you're trying to describe. That's what these are basically for this for these 3 singles that I'm about to put out: Mountain, Blanket, and Bang Bang. And really all that matters to me is like I'll see the shape of the story that I know needs to be told and the color tone. Really all I see is colors. And then I just try to communicate it the best that I can to these other artists. Pixels are very important. I grew up in the 90s looking at pixels often was my these are the other references for the artwork for the singles. And yeah, man, I really just want to make dope art. I'm super influenced by kind of 90s pixelation graphic art. They call it pixel art online. There's a lot of it. And I want to make a video game. This is kind of the style of the animation that it'll be in. And it's really what I want to do. Sometimes I freestyle with friends.
You ain't ready for that? Had to kick you, wear it to the dirt. Go ahead, and she pull up skirt, and I pull off skirt. Go ahead, leave you in the past. Leave you in something so drastic. You could never act gymnastics. Pliability, I'm trying to tell you. Tranquility comes at night. I'm trying to tell you. Take that flight. I'm trying to tell you. Heaven sent, Charles made the beat though. You ain't even ready if you're shooting from the free throw. Trying to jump back, trying to bump back. Wasn't really ready, so I had to turn everything into a hedgehog and then run back and go like a loop. And then had to take another poop. Had to shit on all the haters. Had to get another game on Sega. Had to tell you was trying to stab me and I was choosing Vega. That's kick. This. Okay, go back. Let's go. What we got? I'm just puffy. Hold on. Yeah, sometimes I'm a little more shy than I feel like I need to be, but really I just feel like I just like making art, and like I'm tapping into the essence that I like fell in love with about life as a kid, which is mostly through video games, mostly through like losing myself in a story, and so that's kind of like what I'm doing now. And this is artwork for a song called Big Brother I just put out. Shout out to Kid Cudi, and these are some of the references of just like mood and color palette as well. Also trying to learn French. Je suis de retour. Je suis de retour. I am back. Je suis de retour. I have these visions of like, also it's like super important what you follow on Instagram, I think, because it's what you see on a daily basis. And yeah, just have visions of a there's a Matthew McConaughey gave this speech, and he talks about this is me and my nephew. McConaughey talks about there's the version of yourself like 10 years ahead, and like that inspires him. This is Shia LaBeouf. He really inspires me. I look out into the world and I see stuff that inspires me, and I feel like it and I are similar or are the same. And so I feel like I've been healing this inner child with my art, healing and tapping back into the little boy that is really my purest essence, but somewhere along the line the geometry of emotional wounds clog the divine light from coming in. And I feel like I'm also, the moon stuff is really part of the Kid Cudi stuff, because I feel like I'm definitely here to do something with my life. That's what my dharma is, and I look forward to finding my place amongst all the people in the world who have found their purpose and are inspiring others. As that's what I look at in the world and am most moved by. So I study and I read and I try to absorb information and, you know, different philosophies and stuff. And sometimes just make sure I'm not taking myself too seriously, or maybe do take myself too seriously. And yeah, it's all developing the. I used to really want to be Iron Man when I was a kid. Energy. Don't want to be this dude chasing money for the rest of my life. I want to find my happiness. I want to find my voice. And I'm going to speak to the issues that are happening in the world that I feel called to. I want to merge my feminine and masculinity and really just continue to evolve as an artist and speak from the heart and find pockets of sound that people found in jazz and people found in this image right here is actually a lot. It's really the future. It's really what happens with the human. Sun Ra, the solar stuff and ancient Egypt stuff and jazz stuff and also modern super futuristic anime stuff that I feel like is super futuristic and super ancient, like high tech. It's I don't know, and you sit with it long enough, not just as an artist, but like it's like people have been telling stories of people and journeys that people go on, and those stories become, they become religion, they become games, they become stories that move people, that drive other people, inspire other people to do other things. And so I'm following this trail that, I feel like everybody's looking for their greatness, their essence inside that is their. I think Jay-Z said it, every human being has genius with something, you know what I mean? But it's just like sometimes we get pointed in the wrong direction and spend our whole lives doing something that we're not even really supposed to be doing. I just know I don't want to do that. I know I'm moved by certain things, and I feel art is a gift. And so really my job as a human being is to serve. And so I've been given tools that allow me to serve in a certain way. And it's really just inner engineering, which is what Sadhguru talks about. The Matrix talks about it. A lot of different people talk about it. But Kid Cudi, he pointed me in a direction that, man, it opened up the rest of the portals, I guess. And so now I feel like I know what my purpose is, and so now I'm just going at it and creating and telling stories, being a part of stories to be told, and doing that which brings me joy, but which also is like it's a purpose to it. I keep my eye on my ego, my emotional wounds, and I guess keep the inner child integrated. And so the psychological architecture is fragmented, and so it doesn't have weak spots, so that it's not so you're not projecting your wounds out into the world. And really the future, man, is I just have I have a vision of what I want to do with my life and the things that could potentially happen, but things that I also just deeply desire to happen. And I think I don't know, I'm called to like understand colors and the elements, the 5 elements that we interface with 5 senses through. And I feel like I'm awakening. This is the process that I think a lot of people have talked about in different cultures as different things. There's different words for it, but I know I'm finding my version for it. Definitely want to do fashion too, but that's not here quite yet. But I know I like patches. I just kind of save pictures of stuff that I really like. I love patches. I like when stuff is sewn together. It just looks like patches. Love patches. This is some of the art reference for this game. It's really a movie, but you play it. It's a game, so. This is a human being that I FaceTime often. That we've just done a lot of growing together. Sometimes people grow in different directions, and you never see them again in your life, and they just stay in your life for a season. And sometimes you grow with people through those seasons, and you watch the transmutation from lower self to highest self and higher self, and the levels and chapters along the way, and it just kind of continues to build the bond. So I say the word brother cautiously, but I feel like I know what a brother is. I know what family is, and it doesn't always mean blood. But yeah, and this is Willie, and I just started making beats for him. I really found my love for making beats by just like wanting to make beats for this guy to rap to, and yeah, staying in communication with friends, but using technology, because sometimes I gotta really ask myself what's most important. Sometimes it's not to stay and hang with what's comfortable and with the people that make you feel at home. Sometimes you are called to, that thing inside you is called to, your intuition leads you towards going on your own mission. And if people are there when you get back, awesome. Really, we're all just different shades of light. We all have our way that we got here, which you can say is the past, but it's really just your identity. And to be free of your identity is to be one with everything, which, this may sound like woo-woo to some people, but other words like atonement and enlightenment and awakening and oneness and really just, sometimes they get in the way of what we're talking about, but it's really just arriving at full potentiality of your human version, self-realization that, man, once I started looking, so I started doing this yoga teacher training thing last June, and that's been carrying me forward into the East, and I'm seeing so much of what I love about art and design and culture and science is actually from there. So yeah, that's been my month, the past month or so, in a nutshell. Vibes.